All right, we're back. So let's clear this artboard. So we can either select drag a box over all of that, use our little magic selection tool on the both of them, or I can do Command A, select all, and then delete. We can also, I don't know how wide this N is going to be, but it looks like I have an idea in my head and it's not going to be this narrow, so I'm going to need to expand the size of this glyph. So I'm going to go over to where the white area meets the gray area and drag it a little bit wider. I can also go up here to the width box and type in how wide I want it to be. And so I don't want to like accidentally do that while I am drawing. So often after I do that, I will right click or command click on the artboard and click lock side bearings. So that will prevent me from selecting those side bearings accidentally, but I can still edit that as much as I want, and I can even use the up and down arrows to increase or decrease it. So to draw the first stem of a flat sans serif N, I'm gonna just grab my pen tool. So up here again we have the edit tool, the pen tool, the slice tool, and the measurement tool. And you can get to those really quickly by hitting the numbers on top of your keyboard. So 1 is edit, 2 is pen tool, 3 is the slice tool, 4 is the measurement tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this section, we're basically only going to be, we're going to be going back and forth between 1 and 2 pretty often. So we have our pen tool selected. I'm going to click on the artboard. So the next thing I want to do is make the next side of this the N. So if I just click down here, I might get a straight line, but it might be slightly off. So I want to make sure when I'm clicking, I'm holding down Shift to make sure I have a completely straight line. I'm going to do that again 2 more times. So as we're at the end of this contour, we have what's considered an open contour. So we have 3 sides, and this side is not joined together yet. And what we want to make sure is all of our contours are closed, because an open contour in a font is not really good news. So to close a contour while you still have your pen tool and you're actively drawing, you can click on the start point to close that. So now we have a 4 line segment contour in our glyph. So what if we accidentally stopped drawing in the middle of it and we have an open contour and we want to get back into drawing it? All we need to do is select, using the edit tool, our end of our contour denoted by this circle, select our pen tool again, and we are back in the drawing process. So we just created a new node there. And if we wanted to, we could drag this node on top of the start point to close the contour as well. That's another way of doing it. So we have a closed contour, but as I was drawing, these segments kind of got out of alignment, even though I wanted them to be in alignment. So what I'm going to do is select these 2 and go over here and press this align to the left button, and do the same align to the top. So now we have a contour made of 90-degree angles, but we can see that I missed the X height by just a hair. So what we want to do is move this line up. So instead of just having to select both of those nodes, I could just kind of click on this line, and while holding Shift I can drag it up. I'm using Z and X to move in and out. And I'm going to do the same here. And we have our first contour. The last thing I want to do is I want to move this start point to the bottom left. Doesn't really matter where your start point is, it's just I like to keep things nice and tidy and keep the start point in the lower left hand corner of a contour if possible. So you select a node and you right click or command click on it and you say set start point. And there we have it. So now we need to get our arch shape of our N. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to partially start with the width of this this particular stem. I'm going to copy and paste just this part of the contour, and I'm using the arrow keys to move it left to right. If you hold down, if you press an arrow key, you can move the contour by 1. If you hold down Shift, you can move it by 10. If you hold down Shift and Command, you can move it by 100. It's very helpful if you don't want to have to click and drag all the time. So we have the width established of our contour, say, and I want to pick up drawing it, so I'm going to select that point and pick up our pen tool. So we have to start making a curve here. So what we're going to do, there's a few ways to do it. You can hold down Option and click where you want your next node to be. Hold down Option, click, and then you drag out upwards your Bezier control point. You can hold Shift to kind of lock it in one direction. And then the next point you click, it will give you 2 control points, and holding down Shift will lock it in 45-degree segments, and you can just kind of continue drawing in that way. And just click to finish. We have kind of a wonky design. We have a few control points where we don't want them, so I can just kind of select them and delete them to make a curved segment back into a straight segment. And then we have this little X across this node here. What that means is that this part has a Bezier control handle here, but this one also has one, but it's right on top of the node there. So I'm going to hold down Option and drag out from it, because it's never good to have a control point right on top of the node like that. But and then we can select both of these, and we can double click to make these tangent points. We can select that and make sure that these are all aligned. And that's one way of drawing a curve with the pen tool. The way that I tend to like to draw is by just putting down straight segments and then adding the curves as I need them. It's neither here nor there. You can draw in either way, but I'm going to show you how to do that as another option. So I want to put this contour that I have just in the background. So one way I can do it is just highlight it, copy, go to the background, and paste it. That's one way. Or I can highlight it and then press the L button, and you can see this little menu comes up that says copy it to the background, move it to the background, or flip from background to foreground. I'm going to say move it to the background, and that will move that contour to the background. You can also, instead of clicking, you can use the Tab key to move between those three options. So I can just hit Tab and Enter, and then we'll do that same thing. So I'm going to just draw the way that the stupid way that I usually draw it, which is this, and then I know basically where I want to put these points on this contour. So I'm going to just kind of click and then fix everything up later, like a garbage man cleaning up after after the rowdiest party. If you have a little blue line on your line, that means things are almost parallel, but not quite. And then when it comes to these segments, again, I will just hold down Option and drag out the control points. If you hold down Shift, it will make sure that they are on 45-degree angles, like that. Hold down. We don't really want 45-degree angles here. And then to make these smooth, you can double click them, dragging these to make, and holding Shift to make sure that they are flat, completely flat, and double clicking these to make sure that they're tangent points. So that's how I tend to draw a glyph. It's not the cleanest way, but it's another option. If you sometimes I find dragging out a curve while I'm drawing it to be a little bit too many things going on at once. So those are options. Now I want it to finesse this curve. So first of all, I want to make sure that there's an overshoot. Something that you need to have when you have curves is an overshoot. This looks a little bit heavy. And again, I'm kind of gauging how heavy something is by zooming out and zooming in. But also I can do a measurement. So using the measurement tool, you drag a line across your contour and it will give you the number of units wide something is. If you don't hold down Shift, you can get a measurement on an angle. If you hold down Shift, you get a line. And if you hold down Option, you can get a second measurement line, or a third, or however much you want. And then to get rid of them, you just kind of click to clear them. So, sometimes you want to have a vertical and a horizontal line. So these stems are not looking quite thick enough, so I'm going to kind of hold down Shift and widen them out a little bit. This isn't a course about how to design a glyph. This is just a course on how to use RoboFont, so we're not going to be too precious here. So that is looking okay-ish. It's not the best. But here are some other techniques for finessing a curve. So while you have your edit tool selected, you can click on a curve, and holding down the Command button, you can control the length of both of those Bezier control points at once. It's helpful for like adding a little bit more weight to a curve, taking it away, adjusting the ingoing and outgoing parts of it. Another thing that you can do is by holding that same Command key and clicking on the on curve of that node, you can drag that node on the line without disturbing the positioning of those Bezier curves. So that's helpful for trying to figure out the top of a curve like that. And again, just like we created a curve with the using the Option key, you can hold down the Option and you can edit the placement of these control points. So we have the basic shape of a N, pretty good. And so in the next section, we're going to use our, now that we're experts at drawing in RoboFont, we're going to take a little bit of a detour and discuss editing some preferences and hotkeys. So see you there.